Super Rugby round number 13, folks. Time is running out for the chasing pack. The Brumbies are in 6th. The Highlanders, the Waratahs, the Drua, the Force are all hot on their heels. How can they go in round 13 to try and keep themselves in the hunt, or will somebody be eliminated this week? We'll go through the fixtures, the changes in the lineups and whatnot, some predictions. You guys can let us know your thoughts on how this round is going to go. The one we're starting with on Friday, down in Christchurch, Crusaders against Blues, I feel like is not as high pressure in terms of the playoff race. Although the Crusaders in 5th would still like to put some distance between them and those chasing teams. And they don't want to be losing to the Blues at their new stadium. They wouldn't want the Blues to be the first away team to get a win there over the Crusaders. So they'll be wanting to get a win. The Blues are in 2nd, but remember they've got a game extra played than the likes of the Chiefs who are behind them. So if the Chiefs win all their games, the Blues will not finish 2nd. But they could certainly put the pressure on the Chiefs to get a win because the Chiefs are playing after them if they were to go get a win down in Christchurch. I worry about the scrum, though, from a Blues perspective. We'll start with the Crusaders, though. Severis is back. He might help you try-scoring chances because right now, I think the top 3 Crusaders try-scorers are your hooker, Cody Taylor, your hybrid, Lester Whanganuku, and then your winger/fullback, Che Fihaki. Fihaki's injured, so is Will Jordan. Kemara's also injured, so you got some backline players missing. But yeah, you got some try scorers in the forwards. It's like 6 tries for the 3 of those fellas, so there's not one guy who's flying away with the try scoring records for the Crusaders this year. Macca Springer is going to swap wings, but otherwise the squad is looking pretty stable. David Havili will be captain and hopefully not kicking the ball away from a Crusaders perspective late in the game, or at least if he does it, hopefully he gets the execution a bit better because last week's final kick was not his finest hour, although I do think they were better against the Hurricanes than many thought they were going to be. For the Blues, the scrum, as I said, worries me. Tuangafasi, Slater, and Martin is our starting front row. There's no Ben Ake and there's no Marcel Renata. Both these guys are out injured, so our propping stocks are looking a bit thinner, and our scrum has not been all guns blazing all season. I think George Bower's like 100th match or something for the Crusaders, so he'll be looking to turn some screws on the Blues forwards. So yeah, we need to get parity. If we can get parity and not get folded, we'll be in with a chance. But if every knock-on and scrum turns into a Crusaders penalty, it could be a long day at the office. We do have Dalton back. He's a tackling machine. And we do have AJ Lamb starting in the midfield alongside Peter Aki this week. Anton Signer, who has been impressive, he rides the pine with the return of Dalton. The Crusaders are favourites, 4 points with the Rugby Forecast algorithm, 3 points with the bookies. So for the opening game on a Friday, predicted to be a pretty good one. Then the second game is also, that's a pretty tasty one, isn't it? The Reds, who are looking the best of the Aussie teams and probably the best at the moment of the chasing playoff teams, like the teams in 4, 5, and 6. Against the Chiefs, who will be looking to, as I said, put the pressure on the Blues with that extra game in hand that they've got. They've put George Blake in at loosehead this week, and Lockie Anderson is back on the left wing. So it's good to see that flyer back because he is a danger man, but it's a bit harsh on the old junkyard dog who's not even in the team this week. Dalgunu's on the right wing. And Jock Campbell, I think, has been a little bit kind of underrated in terms of his attacking prowess. McLaughlin Phillips has had a good couple of weeks for the Reds, so he'll be pulling the strings at 10, even though Carter Gordon is back available on the bench for this one. Fraser McCright's probably the star of the show still, though, the captain, the tackle machine, the turnover merchant. If he steps up, he'll cause problems for the Chiefs. For the Chiefs, they were on the bye last week, so they should be fresh and raring to go. Taumoi Falau is back on the right wing. Jacobson is back and captain's side at number 7. Coombs Fabling is in on the left. You have got some wingers injured, like there's no Leroy Carter, there's no Emori Narawa, but they've got the luxury of having the likes of a Samasoni Tokiaho on the bench, the big All Blacks hooker, and Josh Lord. Quietly been having a good season too. He's the Chiefs' top line-out man. They've made a couple of changes in their front row with Norris and Tyrone Thompson starting this week instead of being on the bench. But yeah, despite being away from home against a decently informed team, the Chiefs are the favourites. 5 points with the algo and 6 with the bookie. So neither of those Friday games predicted to be blowouts. They both could be pretty tasty. Then we get to the Saturday games. Highlanders Waratahs, it feels like a pre-knockouts knockout match, doesn't it? The Waratahs and the Highlanders are both on 20 points. They're on 9 and 8 spots. They're 5 points behind the Brumbies. if they don't win now, and especially if the Brumbies win their game, it's a long way back for these sides. So these guys need to get a win, kind of knock the other one out essentially. So it's the fact that they're playing each other at this point of the season is, yeah, it's very, very tasty. Neither side's in great form. The Highlanders have only had one win recently, and that was a scraping kind of past Moana Pasifka in Super Round. The Waratahs last week against the Force, that was a close game, but they were not good at home. They were kind of dominated. If you just look at 22 entries, it was like 14-4. Like, they scored 2 from their 4 entries, but geez, you'd think the Waratahs at home would be putting more pressure on the Force, but it was not to be. The Highlanders are bolstered by the return of Caleb Tangitau, who's back from concussion, so he is an absolute weapon. They'll be looking to make the most of his return. Jonah Lowe swaps wings. Thomas Lavanini is also back in the second row, so the experienced Argentinian will help bolster the forward pack. The scrum has been good. TK Howden is the top tackler of the entire competition, so there's certainly some things to like. Naraki moves to the midfield for this one, which will be an interesting test for him, but yeah, it's must win. Must win for the Landers, but likewise for the Waratahs, who early on showed a bit of promise, but have really kind of fallen away, sadly. Kailea and Botha are the props this week, so there's changes from last week. Amosatero comes in to start in the second row with Matt Phillip being out injured. That's a blow with the veteran being out. Lawson Crichton switches away from 10 this week because Deb Brasini is going to put that big boot of his into action at 10. And then Max Jorgensen is probably your most dangerous weapon in the back line for the Waratahs, alongside Sid Harvey, to be fair, who's had a good real rookie season, kicking the goals, scoring tries out in the corner, but run meters, clean breaks, Jorgo is certainly the guy they want to get in the game. And they've got Harry Potter back, which is good because he's been out for quite some time. So he might be a guy back from injury, get a bit of match fitness from the bench and potentially score a match-winning try. Who knows? It is predicted to be another close one. Highlanders by 5 with the algo and 7 with the bookies. The only real blowout this week is once again predicted to be Moana's match. They are playing the Hurricanes over at North Harbour Stadium. Now, the Hurricanes have gone wholesale changes. So if anything gives the Moana boys a chance, it is that, but they will still be massive underdogs. It is quite literally the bottom up against the top sides in this round 13 clash. Millennium Sanarevi scored a couple of tries last week for Moana. He has looked good this season. Tupu Tailoa at number 8 continues to have heaps of carries and heaps of busted tackles. They will need to get the forward pack going like they showed in that first half against the Blues. The injury list is pretty long, and the 9-10 combo is not helped by the fact that Pellegrini and Matavao are still out, so it's Pulu and Havili for this one. For the Canes, I mentioned wholesale changes. There's no Roygaard. He's out for a decent whack, a few weeks, and Ruben Love is also injured. So they got Inari and Cashmore as their 9-10 combo, which is a big change. Rakete Stones, Basson are your 1 and 2. Yosei shifting to 8. Karifi's still there. Brad Shields gets a start. Funny feeling an awful is still there. He's got 15 tries. So he's probably still a good shout for your fantasy team. But everyone's got him. Morby's got, I think, 8. Which is, I think, still 3rd overall, but almost half his wingmate. But yeah, Johnny Rova's the other kind of change for the Canes in this one. But yeah, Kenny Naholo is also back on the bench. So he's had a long injury layoff himself. Yeah, lots of changes. Lots of changes. There's no Warner Durns. Walker Leaweta is playing this week. So yeah, it is a much changed Hurricane side. 33 points though with the algo and 29 with the bookies. So still predicted to be a bit of a hiding. And then Brumbies against Force. Another kind of must-win one. The Force have to win to keep their playoff hopes alive. And the Brumbies are 5 points ahead of the chasing pack. Need to keep that distance. If they lose again, then with other results, I mean, they kind of got a little bit lucky last week in that a lot of the chasing pack lost. The likes of the Waratahs and the Highlanders. But someone between the Waratahs and the Highlanders is going to win this week, unless it's a bloody draw. So, yeah, the Brumbies need to get their act together. Ala Alato is back at tight head. Crichton is in the midfield, and Sapsford's getting a start. Those are your kind of main changes. Rob Valentini has been carrying the house down at number 6, but you feel like he needs to get a bit more punch. It's been lacking a little bit since they lost Charlie Cale to injury. He is still out. Luke Reimer is also injured. Pollard is back into the team. He's the reserve hooker for this one. They love a maul try, so they'll be trying to get him into the game. And hopefully Tom Wright, who's had such a long injury layoff, was his like 4th, 5th, 6th game back. He seems to be getting slowly back into the swing of things as well, so he'll be looking to cut loose. For the Force, they're a relatively in-form side. They have not dropped many games recently. They've been keeping their playoff hopes alive with wins over the likes of the Crusaders, over the Waratahs away from home last week. They only lost very narrowly to the Drua over in Fiji, so their recent record is pretty decent. They flogged the Reds not that long ago. So pressure is on for them. That is literally kind of do-or-die stuff for them. Matt Greeley has been one of their attacking weapons, getting lots of run meters and whatnot. At fullback, Ikuasi is a big carrying machine. He's back at number 8. Champion DeKrebney switches back to 6. Jeremy Williams is back into the second row, which I think suits him better. Harry Johnson-Holmes is up from the bench to start at tight head. But yeah, they are underdogs. The Force, but I'll be rooting for them. I don't know, I want the Force to do well, but yeah, it's going to be a tough one away from home in Canberra. But man, the bloody Brumbies lost to the Drua in Canberra, so who knows? Brumbies by 9 with the algo and by 6 with the bookies. But yeah, you guys let us know your thoughts on how this weekend's matches are going to go. I mean, I'm probably most looking forward to Blues Crusaders because that's my team, and they're down in Christchurch, and I'd love to see the Blues get a win over in that new stadium. But ultimately, I mean, there's so many good clashes lining up. It's looking to be a really good weekend of rugby. You guys take care. Subscribe. I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.